go! Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over a 2021 Genesis G80. I'm super excited to do this review, but first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Genesis of Sandy for giving me some time with this G80. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood of the G80, we have a turbocharged 3.5 liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 375 horsepower and then 391 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the G80, and the first thing you guys will notice is it looks like a baby G90, and I just love the front end of this car. It's so beautiful. So first and foremost, you've got this massive front grille, and that sensor right there is actually for the adaptive cruise control system. It's pretty neat how they've integrated it into the grille pattern, and then there is a camera just down below it. Now the thing that you guys might have not noticed is if you look at the Genesis logo, notice how you have that little part of the logo and then you have the wings on either side. Look at the shape of the front grille, and then look at the shape of the lights. So the lights kind of represent the wings, and the middle of the front grille kind of represents the middle part of the logo. Just a really cool little design cue on the car. And speaking of the lights, these lights look super like crazy and futuristic. So you've got the daytime running lights, and then you have all of the little LEDs stacked on top of each other, which just look absolutely insane. Parking sensors integrated into the front grille, and they're actually pretty stealth, so you don't really see them in general. And then I like the little like chrome piece that goes across right here. And it does come out to a little bit of a sharp edge, so it makes it look a little bit more aggressive. But overall, it just has this like beautiful, sleek luxury car design from the front end. So now before we go over any other part of the review, now we do have to go over the whole parking system. So for you to be able to activate this, you lock the car and then you press the remote start, okay? It'll take just a second. Now you can see that the car is on, and then once you've pressed the remote start, if you want the car to move one direction or the other, you just have to hold that part down on the key, continue to hold it down, and then you can see that the car will slowly move forward. And then if you want it to stop, let go, and then the car will instantly stop. And then let's say I want to go back, then just hold it again, and then the car will slowly start reversing. And then if you just let go, notice it'll kind of jerk just a little bit. Obviously it's just instantly applying the brake pressure just for safety, but definitely a cool little feature. And then by the way, when you're done with it, all you have to do is just hold the remote start again, and then that'll shut off the car, and then you'll be good to go. Now coming around the side here, you've got two 45mm tires on 20-inch wheels in the front, and then in the rear you've got 20-inch wheels, but it's two 75mm for the tires, so it's a little bit of a staggered setup. As for the design on the wheels, I know that it might look a little bit basic at first because it's just a 5-spoke design, but the color that they have chosen, hopefully this comes through onto the camera, looks absolutely beautiful. This fits perfectly with a luxury car. I love how they have the Genesis logo there on the brake caliper. And what's also really cool is notice when I press the unlock button, you can see that the lights right there, but then also you get the little lights here on the side, which is just like a little design cue, but it just looks really cool as well. I love how they have the chrome strip that goes all along the side. And then also with the mirrors, you've got the black on the bottom and the white on the top, so it almost makes the mirror look like it's floating. But other than that, here is your full side view on the G80. Pop into the rear of the G80. So first off, you've got all of your floor mats back here. They've got the Genesis logo on it. Nothing too crazy with that. Now, the interesting part is this actually has a really nice wheel for the spare tire, but obviously it doesn't match the rest of the wheels. So like it still pressures you to obviously get it fixed right away. But it's interesting like just how nice it looks with the overall design. Like it's only with luxury cars would you get like a nice looking spare tire like that and wheel. But yeah, you can see storage space back here really good. And then you've got this little box right here of goodies that comes with it. I'll leave the first owner to open that up. But yeah, other than that, that is everything for the rear. Let's go over the rear of the G80. So first and foremost, I love these taillights. They're really thin LEDs. They just look really cool and futuristic. And then you have all of your regular badging, nothing too crazy with that. Parking sensors all along the rear as well. And then you have the little covers for the exhaust tips, but they go well with the overall theme of the car. And then you guys will notice here at the top, so obviously we have the huge like sunroof system, but I love how they've just basically made it so like the whole top is all black. It contrasts very nice with the white paint. And then especially from this angle, okay, if you cover up the taillights, it totally looks like a Bentley. Like, okay, taillight's Genesis, but then you cover that up and it looks like a Bentley. It's pretty crazy. Let's go over the door panel here in the rear of the G80. So first and foremost, yes, you do get sunshades here for the rear passengers. And then I really like this wood trim, just feels and looks really premium. And it's got soft touch all along the rest of the door panel. And this is pretty interesting. Like, look how massive the control is for the window. Like, it is just like completely oversized. And then look at the speakers as well, just the beautiful attention to detail. You have this little Genesis logo right there as well. And let's pop in. Now let's actually pop into the back of the G80. So first and foremost, popping here into the back, it's really easy to get in. If you're wondering, I'm 5'11", I've got a good amount of headroom, and then legroom is solid as well. And you can see you've got your own little climate zone here in the rear, which is pretty neat. Not very common on sedans. Couple cup holders right here, which you've got a little trim piece that covers it. And then you've got your heated seat controls. And then this is for the shade in the rear. So you guys notice there's a rear shade, obviously for extra privacy, but then also to protect you against the sun as well. And then you get the center console here, which is actually really big for a center console for like a rear passenger area. It's just very interesting, like how massive it is, but the leather on it's very nice. And look at these seats though, they are so beautiful. So you've got the nice piping throughout, really soft touch leather, and then the perforated part, I love the design that they've done, just super intricate, looks and feels very nice in general. And if you just look at that combined with the door panel, like the rear passengers are pretty much living in luxury. Now the last feature here for the rear, it's pretty cool. So the passenger, this is obviously the passenger side for the front. You can actually move this seat forwards and backwards, or lean it forwards and backwards as this rear passenger. So like this rear passenger here lives the ultimate life of luxury. Now let's go over the door panel here in the front. So again, you've got more of that really nice wood trim with all the soft touch. We're going to rest your arm. And then you have normal sized window controls here for the front, unlike the back. And then you do have your mirror adjustments, which is pretty nice too. And then notice here on the side, you do have your memory seat controls. And then just look at the cool design here with the speaker. Now taking a look here at the front seat, again, really nice piping down the seat, really soft touch leather. And they have the really cool design on the perforated part. And just in general, these seats look and feel very nice. Now, this is actually for the massage seat function, which we'll get into a little bit later, but you've got all of your rest of the adjustments for the seat. And then you can see the pedal layout there at the bottom. And then over here, you've got your little parking brake. And then this is for the rear, obviously, to hold it, which is pretty cool. And then you've got your auto stop start, your lane keep assist, and then you've got your stability control. The steering wheel is automatically adjustable. There's a look at the back of the paddles. And there's one more look before we pop in. Here's the steering wheel with the G80. So you've got the soft touch all around the steering wheel itself. And then over here, you've got your little pages button, your lane keep assist. And then you have this for the cruise control. And then this over here on this side is for the radio. And then you've got the volume over on the other side. And then notice you got your voice command controls as well. But yeah, overall, this design's interesting, but I really like the look of it. It's just because it's different. And then you can see over here, you've got the stock for the lights, and then you've got the stock for the windshield wipers on the other side. Now here is the center gauge cluster. Sorry about the massive amount of reflection. It's like the most reflective gauge cluster I've ever seen. But you can see you've got that center screen, pretty standard setup. You've got the speed over on the left side and the right side. You've got the RPMs, but notice that they go backwards, which is pretty cool. And then you do have the drive mode select. So all you have to do is just press the little drive mode button. I'll show you that in a little bit. But notice how it actually changes things. It's really cool how it goes into basically little different screens with the different drive modes. I can't decide if my favorite is Sport or if it's actually the Eco, because I think both of them just look cool in their own right. But yeah, the Sport definitely looks really cool and aggressive. So before we go over the infotainment system, I want to go over the camera aspect of it. So first off, if we pop the car into reverse, this is what pops up from a camera perspective. So you get the bird's eye view, navigation on the one side for some reason, and then you also get the little view out the rear with the trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel. Notice on that bird's eye view, they turn as well. And then by the way, the mirrors do power tilt down. So notice when I put it into park, the mirrors will power tilt again. Now, there are more camera views with this car. So there's a little camera button that you can press basically, and that'll just pop the system back up, which is pretty neat. But obviously you've got all these different like little viewpoints that you can go over with the car. It gives you like this full like 360 view, which I mean, you guys can see it's the lot around me, and it gives you like a little graphic of the car. So I think that's just really cool in general. And it's just a really good camera system, and it's kind of fun to just like look at all this around us with the car. It's like, that's like That's out there, and it's on there. There are actually quite a few things to go over with this infotainment system. So first off, response time with it is really solid. Yes, it does have the sounds of nature. Pretty cool little feature, I love that. And then I love how it still has like the navigation there on the side. It's like, it's important to know where you are at any time. And then yes, you do get a valet mode. Yes, you can control the climate zones from the touchscreen. But the cool part is these seats. Now remember that button on the side? I can actually just press that button and it'll pop up and I can get a massage while I'm sitting here. And you basically have the different massages. I love how the one is labeled pelvic stretching. That is such, I mean, obviously like, right, it makes sense for what it does, but I love, like, they could have named it like leg stretch or like lower leg massage, but no, they chose to name it pelvic stretching of all things. Now just down below the center infotainment system, you got a little stop start button and then a bunch of really nice wood trim, and then you've got all these shortcut buttons for the infotainment system itself, and then you've got the dual zone climate controls here. I just have it in the auto mode and then the recirculation, pretty straightforward with that. And then yes, you do get heated and cooled seats and a heated steering wheel. I love how they just have like the shortcut buttons right there, so you can just like press it. Don't have to go through any crazy screens or anything like that to access it. And then notice in here you do have a wireless charger, and then you've got a couple USBs, which I'm actually using one of them right now because this GoPro decided to like randomly turn on. I don't know why. It's really hot right now, but it's dead, and without this little guy we can't film our POV shots, so sad day. So here's kind of like the center console area, and my camera does not like this material. It is so bright that my camera, like you guys can see, the second like just the difference, like this, just my camera doesn't like this whatsoever. But you can see this is the gear selector, which is pretty easy to use. You just shift it from one side to the other and just very lightly to go into neutral. Like, it's not difficult at all to get it into neutral whatsoever. And then obviously you do have the park as well. You've got the auto hold. If you're wondering what this is for, this is actually also to control the infotainment system. So like if I spin that dial, it'll go through the infotainment system, and then you have the little shortcut buttons above it. I like how these feel with the volume, just like really premium feeling in general. A couple cup holders with really nice wood trim that cover them. And then you got your drive mode select. This is for the camera button, and then that is for the parking sensors. I do have the center console, which the material on the top is very nice. But notice that it pops open. That little button is pretty cool how it pops open. And then yes, you do have a little 12 volts inside of it, all lined with felt, just pretty nice in general. I just love how soft this is to the touch. And they do the same thing over the dash as well, so like all of it just looks and feels really nice. And then notice how they all connect it together, so the lines all come together very nicely. And then even like the handle there on the glove box is actually really nice. But you've got a pretty normal glove box, nothing too crazy here, again, lined with felt. Now we're done going over the interior on this G80 Prestige. Let's quickly get into pricing. So in terms of pricing, this G80 Prestige with all the options, it has stickers for just under $70,000 before any type of market adjustment. That all being said, let's take this G80 out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off here in the G80. So you guys can see visibility over the hood is really good, and hopefully you can now see the heads-up display with the GoPro. If you can't, I'm sorry, but I was hoping to show that in the driving portion. Here's your visibility over both of the, or through both the mirrors. You can see that they also have blind spot warning, but also this does have the cool turn signal thing. And again, I kind of wanted to wait for the drive portion to show this to you guys so you can kind of see that. Pretty neat with that, with the whole turn signal indicator screen. And then you can see visibility all throughout the rear is pretty good, but between like the turn signal cameras and the blind spot monitoring, you're never going to have a visibility issue. And that all being said, let's set off. We are initially setting off here in the G80, and well, let's talk about the most important stuff, because this is a luxury car, which is going to be the road noise and the ride quality. So from a road noise perspective, this is super well insulated. Now it's about average in terms of wind for today. Utah is just like always windy, but it's about average. I don't hear that at all. Very minimal tire noise. I'd put it above average for most vehicles. And then in terms of the engine noise, it's also really quiet. So like, first off, like my first impression as a luxury car, this actually does a really good job. And we'll actually get up and get kind of like our minor acceleration here. So this will just be partial throttle. Yeah, you really don't hear a whole lot from the engine. It's actually really quiet. Lots of torque though from this engine. I really like that aspect of it. And we'll see how the manual shifts are. Gosh, that turn signal mirror makes things so much easier. I know right-hand turns aren't going to be as important, but it's really cool for obviously left-hand turns and all that. But whoa, this thing gets up and goes. Especially when you get into the turbos, it's pretty dramatic. And I mean, obviously it gets really good grip because it's all-wheel drive. This is impressive. Yeah, you would not think it would be this quick from the power figures, but it really, I mean, it moves. And obviously you got the V6 sound. It'd be cool if they put like the 5.0 V8 in this. That would sound a whole lot better. But honestly, no complaints from me. I think that, again, since this is more of a luxury car, you're really just going to want a quieter engine in general, and the engine noise isn't going to be the important aspect of it. But yeah, so far this kills it as a luxury car. The steering's really light and effortless. And you know what? I'm going to turn the massage seat function on. Not pelvic stretching though. We're going to do whole body stretching because, yeah. Anyways, it's just really solid. Like, I'm getting a massage right now. I'm really comfortable, and I don't know what else to say. Like, this just really knocks it out of the park as a luxury car. And here's the thing, is all the cars that this gets compared against are over 6 figures. Some of them are just a little bit under, but most of them are over 6 figures. And so if you're talking about just such good value for the money, you're getting all these nice safety tech features, you're getting a bunch of luxury features, and you're getting it in a package that's significantly less money than other competitors. And from a road presence standpoint, because also road presence is very important for a luxury car, this just absolutely kills it. I love this new styling. Again, I kind of made fun of it for kind of looking like a Bentley. Like, you take off the headlights and taillights and it totally looks like a Bentley. Just put the circular ones on. But I mean, you're not in you're not in bad company when you look like a Bentley. Like, it's insane. This is so beautiful from the outside. The inside is really nice as well, especially with the price point that this is at. And so really, if you're looking for a, you know, I don't want to use the word budget because it's almost $70,000, but this really is like a budget value luxury car. But it's not, I'm not saying that in like a negative way. I'm saying that in a really positive way. Like, you get all this cool luxury stuff, but you're not paying the luxury premium for it. This car is amazing. That is going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Genesis G80 in the Prestige package. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to Genesis of Sandy for giving me some time with this G80. Check out their inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in that next video.